Hello, welcome my friends. Today's topic is variable and data types. So today I will teach you all the concepts regarding variables and data types in Java. So let's start our code. Here we write int example or abc equals to 5 system.println. We have to first compile our Java first program.java. Now we see compilation is successful. Now we run first program. Yes, it we got our hello world that we write previously, and we get the value of abc, that is 5, using calling system.println, that is our printing method. So now here the basic concept, what is variable and why we use, what we use and how we use. So basically variable is a naming convention that helps to store our data type. Just like here we save our integer value here by using the variable name abc. We can also store string xyz equals to I xyz. So it can also first we have to compile, then we'll get high. So basically here the main concept is like we have to must provide the variable name first. When we give our variable name, then then our program must be run. Otherwise it didn't be run. Like if you just like only int 5, int equals to 5, it didn't run. It shows an error. That is, we must have to provide a variable name. So we must have to give a name, like we have to name or giving name of any person. Like without naming the name of an variable, we didn't run. So here also one concept. In short, variable we can set container that store our value. But our variable cannot store any type of name. Like it store only particular name, like here we use int abc 5. So it can be run perfectly. But if we write underscore abc 5, then it cannot be run, because these are the rules of naming convention, and naming convention, that is our variable. So here these are the things, like we, while giving the name, we didn't start with an underscore with dollar, like a specific special annotations we didn't use, but we use a number after the name of variable, and even we didn't use an space. Like if we write int a b and we give here a space and let's see equals to 5, it didn't run, it shows an error. And we didn't even use an columns, inverted commas or whatsoever, it shows error. Just like an example I will provide you, like here we write int ab, it shows an error because naming because space is not allowed in this. And if you use dollar, it shows int abc an error, just because it is a special symbol. Special symbols is not allowed, just like our dollar and at the rate, percent, we didn't start with these. But and even with an underscore, we didn't start with underscore also, but we use 1 2 after this. Now our program runs fine, because these are the predefined name that can be stored by Java at the time of developing the Java language. So basically variables are used for just storing the values of our data types, storing the value of our data types. So now what are data types? Now we will move to our topic of data type. That is our second concept. In this video I will cover two concepts, that is data types and variable. So what are data types? Data types are basically our integer, string, character, double, float, and so on. There are too many things. So these are the basically that gives our variable and a strong. That is, data type is basically used for storing our variable. Without data type, our variable have no value. Just like if we write here just int abc, it didn't run because we must have to provide a variable its data type. Like what's that? It's integer, string, float, whatsoever. So we must have to write the data type just starting off a variable name. And also there is a major rule defining data type perfectly. Just like if there is a 5 number, then we must have to give it an integer, not a string, character, double or float. Otherwise, it shows an error during compile time. Just like if we write string abc equals to 5 rather than int, then it shows int cannot be converted to string because in Java it doesn't allow mixing of too many data types with a single variable name, because Java is strongly typed with their data types along with their variable name. So we must have to provide a perfect data type as per their variable declared result. So data types, there are two types of data type, that is primitive and another one is non-primitive. Primitive data types are integer, float, char, boolean. That is a very basic and a simple data type that we use in our simple project or basic level of applications, like a very basic, not an even in moderate primitive we didn't use too much these primitive data types. We only use for storing values, basically basic storing values, like for using an form based application, basic storing value application. Because primitive data type stores actual value, we must have to declare value with that. Like if we use int abc, we must have to declare its value with the 5, 10. Even we can use as a user based input. In next video I will explain user based input value. So currently considered, like if you declared an int or a primitive data types, we must have to declare its value, otherwise our application didn't run. And non-primitive data types, that consists of string, arrays, class and objects. These are advanced type of data type because they can store multiple values with their long method and object names. So these can be used in our high level based applications. If you like in Spring Boot based project or high level application, we use non-primitive data types. You'll understand non-primitive data types in further future videos very easily. But just now, just remember that non-primitives are the complex data type that can store string, arrays, class, and objects. And primitive data types that store only simple values in float, and we must have to declare its value. So now, main concept of why we use data type. So now I will give you some basic concept of using perfectly data type. So here you can see why I use string here, because we can use in phone numbers, we can use plus also, like plus 91 for Indian and 92 whatsoever. So while we store a number with their character and using special symbols, then we have to use string, because in string we can say anything, like with plus special symbols, special character, even a b c, everything. Just like, now see compile, sorry, I have to forget this to modify. Now it can be run. Now you see in string it can be run perfectly. So because here the concept of string, because here you see that string is used with a capital S, not with a small s, because string is considered as a class, not as a proper data type. You can understand in next advanced concept topics why string used as a capital S, what are class, objects, method and functions. So for currently just understand that string can be used as capital S because string is considered as class, and integer, float, double, all considered as properly data type. And at starting most students do that mistake, like they use small s in string, and that cannot be perfect. It shows an error. I will show you here. Here you can also, there's no suggestion with the string. Here you can see that with the smallest string, there is not even a special symbol or function. But yeah, we can create a custom function, but by default there is not a perfect symbol with the small s. That's why we have to use capital S in string, because it is a class. And you can understand the class in future advanced concept. So for current scenario, you just have to understand that when you use a mixed version of a number, characters, special symbols, you must have to use string, and you must have to put these under double inverted comma. Otherwise, it also shows an error. That like this. Here it can consider that this is another part. Also, one more thing. That's the most important thing. Here, one more thing. Like if you print ln dot print ln, and I will directly give value here. When Java C. Here you see 0.300004 with when we just sum the 0.1 plus 0.2, because computers cannot store decimal number in binary. Some decimal values cannot be represented perfectly. So we must have to declare here these as a double rather than float. You can see here 0.3004 shows when we just add 0.1 plus 0.2. So that can create a major issue when we create an advanced project like a banking based management system. So like in banking, if we do this thing and we get that result, so the person that have the value is now bankrupt, or even a bank can be bankrupted, because the values can be stored a very long value. So we must have to use these things perfectly. Like we must have to declare everything perfectly, like and use professionally in advanced project. I will explain how we handle this problem perfectly in coming videos, because at the time of project you understand everything perfectly. For just now, you just have to understand that how these things work rather than focusing on advanced concept or in-depth knowledge. You just have to understand firstly how these things work, how string can be used, how int can be used, how uh, double can be used, how float can be used, and how boolean is used. So here you can understand these things completely. So now I will explain how much these data types store value in memory. This is the important thing. This is the important thing to understand, that how much value can be stored in our memory. How much data type value store, like how much memory allotted by int, string, and so on. There's too many things. We can understand storage by understanding that image. This image. Here you see boolean type, boolean description, like where we use here boolean is for true or false. Default is false. Like after byte there is a character. Character is basically used for a Unicode value. Like Unicode values like character representation of ASI value. ASI values are from the vector defined by the Java itself. Like if you write /101 in your, because that these are basically a binary language that convert a mathematical value into machinery based, or vice versa. Like if you use a single character like A, B, C, all are fine. But if you used to print the decimal value or a ASI value, sorry, not a decimal value, if you have to print an ASI value, you must have to use /u, or even with the /101 here you see. So it can print the value. I will show an example of this. A, B, C, D. Can we print? Oh, sorry. Here you see ABCD that directly print A. And if we use /101, it shows capital A, because 101 is used for capital A, and 102 maybe B. Let me check. Yeah, B. It can be used for capital B. So these are the basically ASI value. When you search on Google, you can understand how are ASI values. So basically, ASI values store all the things in our binary format, like even an percent symbol also have an ASI value. So rather than if using percent, we can write its ASI value. Just like here, we use 102. and get capital B. So we can use its ASI value like maybe 150 or whatsoever. We can get this 1%. Take an example. Take an example. So let's take 152. Oh, 152 is for J. Yeah, 247 is for question mark, and yeah, everything is defined in ASI value. Everything like even our at the rate and even our dollar is also stored in this ASI value. ASI values ranges from 0 to 255. You can check by yourself also. Like short is used for storing short integer value, like that is only store 16 bits, and per range value is for -32768 to 32767. This is the range. Like under that range, we can store our values. That's like integer consists of 32 bit, -2, -1, even 0 also, to 1, 2, 3, and that is consist of big range. Range is like if we use integer, we can store long value. Like now you can understand the concept of range value. Like if we write too much long, it cannot be run because it is a very vast thing. Now you see, right? So it exceeds the range of our data type. So we must have to put these thing under a range. If we use that too much long value, we use another data type that is long. We use long for because long, you can see long consists of too much long, like 100,000, 10,000, like 100 millions, trillions of things. So we use long. Even at that type of large number can't imprint by the long. But if we short some number, now maybe it can be, yeah, even that is still also large number. We can, that is your homework, like why we can't print that too large thing. That is your homework to understand the concept of why we can't even print that too much long values of integer. If you understand clearly, then it's perfectly fine. Otherwise, you can comment me and I will explain in the next video why long, even the long didn't display that too much large thing. In next video, I will cover that topic clearly. So firstly check if you didn't understand, then comment me. I will explain you how I print that too much long. Just like in banking system or whatever the project we make, maybe there is a use of that large value. So I will explain later if you didn't understand perfectly. Now I share you a basic example of all data type. You can take this screenshot or pause the video and run yourself so you can understand all the data type perfectly. I directly write the code and run the output. So you have to pause or take screenshot and understand how these things work clearly. If you have any issue or problem, you can comment to me. I can reply to your comment surely. If you face any issue, just tell me. I will cover that issue in the next video. Now, here you can, I will scroll down slowly so you can understand perfectly. Also, I share this code and the output in comment also, so you can run carefully. But I tell you, you don't have to copy paste this code. You have to write by yourself. And if any issue, just comment it. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for my side.